Here we are.
Here we are.
It is the first episode of the second half of the first season of For My Family, For My Future.
Happy 2024.
2024.
Side note.
This is actually recorded in 2023.
At the end of 2023.
End of 2023, but we are doing this for 2024.
Yep.
So, reason we're doing that is because we don't want to have to record a podcast over the holidays.
Correct.
But we want to get a podcast out
for you guys.
For you guys in January. So here we are. Hope you've had a great... If something crazy has happened in the world between now and the time this is released...
Hopefully it hasn't.
Hopefully it hasn't. Hopefully everything's fine.
Yep.
But if it is, apologies that we are not talking about that today. We will talk about it at some point.
You bet your bottom dollar.
Bet your bottom dollar, because today we're talking about money.
Okay.
But before we talk about money,
okay.
I think we should talk about the documentary that I just watched. It has nothing to do with For My Family, For My Future.
Not a
But I cannot stop thinking about...
Well, I will say this. Hopefully it has nothing to do with
Hopefully
For My
it has.
Family, For My Future.
Lord have mercy. But I just got done watching the documentary on Flight MH370. If anyone out there is a big MH370 fan...
Well, you're acting like people know what this is.
MH370 is this flight from Malaysia that went missing.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people just missing.
239 to be exact.
Flight just missing.
Just
let the conspiracy theories run amok.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it and I'm all in, and you didn't really care about it.
So here's the deal though. When we start shows like that, I really am in, but then I get sleepy.
Like all the time.
And I go night-night.
Yeah, like 10 minutes into the episode.
I'm sorry.
She's gone.
I'm so sorry. It was a busy last few weeks.
Okay. Well, you missed it. Anyways, for those of you that care about MH370, I am all in on it. I have my theory as to what happened, but I would love to hear your theory, so please let me know if you're an MH370 conspiracy theorist. Because I can't stop thinking about it. How does a plane go missing?
Well, my heart just goes to, like, the 239 people that have families that they still have no idea.
Correct.
And I'm sure putting out series like this doesn't help things.
But also, where did an entire plane go?
Correct. Where?
Yeah. Okay, let's get to it. For My Family, For My Future today, brought to you by Diet Dr. Pepper.
And Liquid IV.
Today we are talking about something that I feel like is so important to the health of your family, the health of your future. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a great time to be talking about it as we enter into the new year. This podcast will be released in January, so it's a great time to be talking about it. We are talking about money.
Money, 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 money.
Money!
Think you're going to go there? I started a little too high.
You did. It was a little too high for me.
Money, money, money.
Money. Okay, sorry, what were we doing? We were talking about money. I think it's very important because right now what's happening for so many people is the credit card statement is coming out for what happened in December. And it's a bad deal, I'm sure, for so many.
Yikes.
So it is a good time. I feel like it's a great time for everybody to kind of get their finances back in order, to get a hold of money and figure out your relationship with it. Are you doing well with managing your money? Mm-hmm. Because it truly does impact so much of a marriage.
Oh my gosh.
A family.
Your future.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that I feel like even we've experienced in our own lives. Like some of our biggest tense seasons have been around money, where we have different expectations, or we're just on different pages with
different viewpoints, yeah.
January
is a great time to,
yeah.
It's not a resolution.
Right.
Like, don't look at this as, in 2024, I will. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of resolutions.
Yeah.
Poo-poo out.
Yeah. I think it's better to look at it like, I remember towards the end of 2023, I was leading a class in our church with Ross Haycock. Mm-hmm. Ross, a good man. If you guys know Ross is a beast. But amazing financial planner, financial advisor. And I loved how he spoke about money, because he said that it's a lot like going to the gym. Mm-hmm. It's like sometimes you fall off the wagon. Sometimes you screw it up. Sometimes you blow your budget. Sometimes you don't go to the gym. Sometimes you have a bad few weeks. But, man, give yourself grace and just get back into the rhythm of being disciplined with your money. Mm-hmm.
Continuing to not go to the gym doesn't get you anywhere.
Correct.
But realizing, I haven't been to the gym in a while. I haven't made a plan for my money. Yeah. Oh, I have all of that. Just get back on the train.
Yeah. And I think it's right to not look at it as a resolution, because a lot of people will hit the gym for the first 3 weeks of the year and then fall off for the rest of the year. It's like, this is not just a January thing. No. January's a good time to start.
Yep.
But you need to be disciplined in your money, and it will impact your marriage. It will impact your future.
Yeah.
It'll impact so much. And so really what we're going to do today is just really simple. We just want to walk you through 4 main things that we've learned over the years that have helped us with our money, helped us solve some problems in our marriage when it comes to money, helped us just have a good relationship for our family, for our future when it comes to money. And so I'm just going to throw these out there, and then we talk about them.
Cool.
And hope they bless and help you guys. So number 1, I feel like this is so important for especially the married couples out there. Mm-hmm. But even if you're single, I think it's really important to understand number 1,
sure.
which is know your tendency when it comes to spending.
Yeah. Are you a spender or are you a saver?
Are you a spender? Those are really the 2 main tendency types.
I think if you think about it on a continuum even, you probably lean one way or the other. I don't know very many people that would consider themselves to be right smack dab in the middle.
Right. You lean one way. You have a tendency.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to understand that, because, for someone who's single, when you understand your tendency, then you can game plan and strategize to make up for your deficiencies.
Right.
If you're a spender and you're single, you need to have a very strict plan in place for saving.
Right.
If you're a saver, you need to have a very good plan in place for how you're going to enjoy your money. I think that's probably the key thing that you and I have learned in this. I think for a long time, like for us, you're the spender, I'm the saver.
Yep.
You're the one that doesn't worry about money, I'm the one that worries about money.
Yep.
You never are worrying about the bank account number or the retirement account number, and I'm aware of it every single day.
And for the longest time, it bothered me that I felt like I was just walking through life in full trust of you, like, you've got it, I'm fine, everything's great. But I didn't realize that I was unknowingly causing you major stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean that I can change how I've been wired.
Right.
But now at least I know, like, okay, when I see the look on your face, we just need to sit down and talk about it again.
Yep.
But it also, for you, doesn't mean that you're looking at me as like the villain in the situation.
Yeah.
And you as the hero.
Right. I think that's the key that we've learned so much, and that even came out in counseling years ago, is that spenders are not the villains.
Right.
Savers are not the heroes.
Right.
Because what can often happen, like for me as the saver, is I will just save, and never actually enjoy anything in life.
Yeah. And for someone who wants to, obviously you want to enjoy life. But for somebody who doesn't think about it from your perspective, living with someone, being married to someone who lives with the another shoe's always going to drop mentality, is
scarcity
like,
mindset.
This is not fun. This is so hard. Like, we can't. Oh, it's just really hard.
It actually can be the opposite, where the saver can actually bring more pain and misery to a relationship than the spender, because they're sucking the fun and the joy out of life. And the truth is, like, God gave us these things for our enjoyment. I mean, the New Testament teaches that.
Right.
Everything you've been given by God is He gives it to you richly for your enjoyment.
Right.
Yes, we want to be generous. Yes, we want to be wise, and yes, we want to save. But also, it'd be foolish to not enjoy the blessings that God has given you. And so without you in our marriage to help us do that, then we would miss out on a lot of amazing experiences that we've had together and with our kids, and just joy in life.
And without you being you,
we'd be broke.
We would we'd be living in shanty.
For sure.
But
yeah.
No,
you know your
real though. Yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah.
And to not villainize the other person.
Yep.
And to not victimize yourself. Well, I'm just the one over. No.
Yep.
Like, you do it as a team.
Know your tendencies and talk about it.
I would be interested to talk to someone who, like, both are savers in a marriage or both are spenders.
Yeah.
I don't know that happens very often, because it is a continuum. It is like a scale. And I'm sure, I don't know, that'd be really interesting.
I've only known one couple that were both savers,
Who?
Bronze, Jeff and Jenny Braun.
Oh, okay.
And they had their house paid off at 40.
Yeah.
Kidding. I mean, they did.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
they were both big savers.
I didn't realize that.
Both of them, big time. But when you got two spenders, I don't think that marriage lasts.
Yeah. Maybe not.
But you just need to know your tendency.
Yeah.
You need to game plan around it.
Right.
I think it's huge. I think it would be so helpful for so many, especially if you're dating or you're engaged heading into marriage, know it beforehand.
Oh my.
Know your tendency beforehand.
Yes.
And it will save you a world of pain.
We knew way ahead of time.
Oh, yeah.
That you were the saver, I was the spender.
Yeah. I don't think we got past the point of villainizing each other until much later in marriage.
Yeah.
But I think that easily leads us into number 2, which is, and I know it's going to sound boring and not fun, but man, I feel like every young person listening to this right now needs it. And there are a lot of married couples that need to get back to it.
Right.
You got to make a budget.
Budget. Tell your money, give your money marching orders.
Got to give it marching orders.
Tell your money how to be spent, where to go.
Yep.
It's something that we even sometimes go in and out of.
Oh, we suck at being consistent on our budget. It's something we're always battling. And we've got an app, the thing I always tell people, there are ways, technology has given us ways to make this easier.
Yep.
We've got an app that we use called Good Budget. We should get a corporate sponsorship from Good Budget. Good Budget's just easy, and it updates on our phones. So when you spend something, you put it in Good Budget, and it automatically reflects on my app on my phone, so I know how much money we've got left. But you got to make a budget, because the truth is, so many of us are spending so much more than we think we are. And on things that we actually don't really care about.
Right.
If any of us looked at and added up in a month how much food we were spending on going out to eat, or how much money we're spending on going out to eat, how much money we're spending on coffee at Starbucks, how much money we're spending in gas, how much money, all that stuff, it just adds up so quick. And you think you probably have more margin than you do.
Right. It's good to just look at it and see what's probably being overspent and work through it that way.
Yeah. And to me, it's really an indicator of where your heart is. Jesus says where your treasure is,
There your heart
will also be. Well, you can say your treasure's in one place, but here's the deal. Credit card statements don't lie.
No.
If you think your treasure is in one place, the credit card statement should reflect that.
Yeah. And some credit card statements even tell you, you spent this much money on gas this month or at a convenience store. You spent this much money at the grocery store. You spent this much money at restaurants.
Yep.
So.
But the worst thing you can do is go about this blindly.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do is go in and just assume you're doing well. Because I think most Americans live this way, where we're just kind of spending money and going with the flow of culture. And it is not actually making our money matter. It's not making our money count.
Right.
Our money's not going towards things that we want it to. And it's actually not helping us achieve long-term goals. To me, the budget is just it's like your diet.
Yep.
It's like your workout routine. If you don't have a plan, you ain't going to make any progress.
It comes back to discipline.
I know it's not fun. You got to make a budget. You got to make a budget. The third thing that we have learned over the years, and you're going to say, of course you would say this, you're a pastor. Of course you would say that you need to, number 3, start tithing. Yeah. But I'm telling you, tithing for us has been a
Change the game.
Huge difference maker. And we started it early on. That's where I feel like I can say this without any hesitation, because we started tithing before we were even in ministry.
Right.
I mean, we were giving back to the local church because we believed in it. But I think there's so many more benefits to it outside of the difference you make with your money.
Right.
Tithing forces you to be disciplined.
Oh, it's just enough to make you think.
Oh, yeah.
And to get your heart right. And to set you up for that month. However you end up doing tithing. Yeah. But that's how we typically do it.
Yeah, 10% back to the local church at minimum.
Yep.
To give it to God as a way to say, you bless us with everything in the first place. And now we're going to give you the first and best of what we have every month. And
get your priorities right.
It just it's a disciplined priority shift.
Yep.
It's really hard to not pay attention to your budget when you're tithing.
Well, it forces you to.
You have to.
Yeah. When you say from the top, right from the get-go, the church gets 10%.
Then you look at, oh my gosh, do I have enough for the rest? Like, am I good? It's like a forced management
Yeah.
of your
It
money.
helps you get your ducks in a row.
Correct.
And your heart rate. That's the big one.
Absolutely. And it gets your heart right. And then the crazy part is just the cumulative effect over time. Like what we have seen the local church do in our lives, that's where, like, yes, I think God wants it for you. It helps you stay disciplined in your spending. It helps you keep a budget right, all of that. But man, when you see the local church in action and you know that I was a part of that,
Oh, it's huge.
there is nothing better.
Nothing better.
Nothing better. When baptisms happen at our church, every single person that gives, I'm like, I hope they feel like they're a part of this.
Yeah.
They may not know the person being baptized,
It doesn't
but
matter.
their sacrifice helped make that happen.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yep.
So if you're not tithing, I think it's a great place to start. I know some people are like, work your way up to tithing. That's cool for some people. I'm a rip the Band-Aid off kind of guy.
Let's just go.
I'm like, man, if I know something needs to be done, let me just feel the pain short and sweet quick. Let's go. Rip the Band-Aid off and get to 10%. And I'm telling you, you'll start to see your life just kind of fall in place.
Right.
You'll start to see that you manage your money, and you'll start. The other good thing about it too is, like, if crap really does hit the fan and let's say you lose your job, you've got a 10% buffer built in already where you're giving that back to God in a season where you're not making anything.
Right.
Like there's so many benefits to it that I think there's a reason God commands us to do this. There's a reason that's encouraged in the New Testament to make 10% the minimum. There's so many good things that come from it. I can't recommend it highly enough.
And make that part of your budget.
Yep.
Like, you don't make the budget and then decide to tithe. The first thing you do in your budget,
10%.
10%.
Yep.
From the top.
Yep. So important. And I know it's hard to say this without some people trying to twist it and manipulate it, because we would never tithe or give in order to get blessing.
No.
We would never give in order to get. We give in response to what God has done for us through Jesus, right? However, I've yet to meet anyone who tithes that doesn't feel like God continues to bless them, whether it's financially, relationally, with opportunity, with contentment and joy. I've not met one person in my entire life who says, I tithe and I regret it.
Oh, I mean, at 38, almost 39, same.
Nobody. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Fourth and last thing, I think this is so key and would be so helpful for so many, is when it comes to your finances. I know finances are a very private thing. A lot of people get nervous talking about it. But I have just seen the massive benefit of getting outside perspective
Oh, it's huge.
on your finances, whether that's through a financial planner or advisor, someone that you trust in the church that it seems like they've done really well with their money and seems like they have a lot of peace and contentment, to ask them, hey, can we talk through finances? I think that because our culture has made money such a taboo thing to talk about, a lot of us live in like almost like private fears and worries, and we have no outside perspective.
And when you're doing something like that by yourself, you're floundering.
Right.
Why not? I mean, look at it as like a mentor relationship.
Yep.
Look at it as, hey, I need help with this, just like in any other area of your life.
Yeah.
If you're having trouble in the gym getting ready to go, who do you hire?
Right.
Professional trainer.
Right.
If you need help learning how to cook in the kitchen, what do you look to? Like like you look at recipes.
Yeah.
You look at like ways. There's just other ways to help yourself get to a place of understanding money, when you can look at somebody and go, I really like the way you do this, or it seems like you have it all together, or you've learned a lot along the way. Can you teach me?
Yeah. And even to open up again, with the right person in the right setting, to open up your finances and say,
Yeah.
can you look at this and see, is there anything I'm missing? I remember back when we were on staff at a church in Indiana, and our church brought in a financial advisor to be open to speak with the staff. And no one was taking meetings with the guy. No one wanted to talk to him. And I was like, please get me in front of him. And I literally got in front of him and I said, okay, here's everything about our finances. Here's our budget. Here's everything.
And this is not like, this is personal finances. This is not like church budget.
No, this was personal finance, our family.
Yeah.
And I laid all in front of him and I said, I just want to know, Is there something I'm missing? Are we on the right track? Because as a saver, as someone who's always worried the other shoe's about to drop, scarcity mentality, I was like, man, are we on the right track? Is there anything I'm missing? And I remember him looking at me and just laughing and going like, you are so far ahead of the game. You
Yeah.
worry about this too much. You're doing great.
And I'm like, amen.
But it was so refreshing for me
for
to
sure.
hear that from someone that knows
You
what they're
trusted.
doing.
Not
Right.
that you don't trust me with money,
Correct.
but you have a deeper respect for somebody that does this professionally,
Right.
that can look at you and say, like, his words meant more to you than me being like, seriously, we're fine. Just,
Yeah.
like, we can go to have fun.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But some outside perspective really
It's
helped
super
me.
helpful.
Really helped me have peace. You know, and even if you're in a place where you're not ahead of the game,
Right.
and you're not saving well, and you're not managing your money well, to have some outside perspective, go here. If I'm you, here's what I would do.
Right.
I'd tackle this first, then this, then this. Then it's just like, okay, I'm not crazy. Here's the plan, and now you have some peace, because that's ultimately what we're trying to get to here. I think that's why it's so important for us to have a conversation about this. We're not trying to help you guys with money so that you end up rich.
No.
We're not trying to help you, do this so that you end up getting to go on the dream trip that you always wanted, whatever. It's because we want peace for your family.
Yeah.
Peace for your future.
Yeah.
You want to get to a place where you live with margin, where you've got a sound plan, where you're doing well with what God's entrusted you to, so that you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
I mean, isn't that so funny?
Reduce
Like,
your anxiety.
yeah, isn't it so funny? Like
plan.
Jesus, he spoke about money all the time because people wanted to hear, because he knew it was affecting people. You never read one worry of his own finances. It was almost like he knew everyone else was worried about it. So he was like, let me help pastor you through this.
Yeah.
But the best way to live is just in a place where you've got it under control and you can get back to just living life. Life is about so much more than earning money.
Right.
You want to get to a place where you can manage it well and have peace.
Yep. That's
And
it.
so I think if you'll just do a couple of these things we talked about, pick one, take a step in that direction.
And once you tackle that one, or if you have questions,
Yeah.
get outside perspective.
Get outside perspective. We got people at the church that would love to help you with that. If you're not local to Peak City, shoot us an email. We can connect you to some people.
Absolutely.
But don't let money be the thing. I think so many people are wasting so many years of their lives chasing money, with an unhealthy relationship with
Becomes
money.
a hindrance.
It becomes a hindrance to your life.
Yeah.
Instead of just something that's supposed to help you get back to living. Be content with what you have and get back to living. That's what we want for you.
Yep.
So I feel like we're getting there. We're getting there slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Raising teenager, getting ready to have teenagers, going to have a teenager, and life's getting more expensive.
Yeah.
All of it, and just continue to trust God.
Right.
Continue to have open communication about it, and for my family, for my future.
Episode 10.
Episode 10 in the books. Peace.
Peace.